and I know I have 52 shots or 22 shots in my storyboard lineup, I would then go start setting up all my equipment, right? So we can go talk about the next phase.
Yes.
So we've got some pretty cool tools here. This device is called Moses, and it has a camera on it. I'm touching it right there.
Yeah.
And it shines a red light towards the ceiling, and it looks at these little dots that are on the ceiling. And here in a second, we'll look up at the ceiling. And so there's little dots all over the ceiling, you know?
And those must be motion tracking, huh?
Yeah, and so that helps build it's got a constellation of them inside of it. It's got a little memory bank.
Okay.
And so it can remember where it's at. Oh. So it's able to, we calibrate it by dancing around with it all over the place. Yeah. And so then it has this constellation of stickers, and then it can know where it's at in virtual space down to the centimeter.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty crazy.
So that's where that plugin comes from. So that's, I guess, sending information to your program, whether it be, I guess, Blender or Unreal Engine. Yeah. And that's okay.
So, but on this next project that we're working on, we're actually, they don't want to go with the handheld feel. They really want to go with a very clean, smooth movement.
Yes.
And sometimes the job needs something that's a little bit more like rugged, maybe. But this particular project that we're working on and getting prepped for, they want it to be smooth and steady.
Super smooth. So you're going to need the world's biggest gimbal. Ladies and gentlemen, here is
we have a high-speed CINEBOT.
Yeah.
So, right behind me is this robotic camera arm, and the piece that I'm holding is what holds the camera.
That was one hell of a gimbal.
These little motors right here, you mount it to your camera, and
that's what you're holding is the motor. That is the mount.
Yeah, it's the mount for the camera. So I put the camera on top of there, and then I have the fizz control. That's what it's called. You have these attached to your lens, and then it will tell it to focus at 26 inches or 5 feet,
and it physically
and it will turn it to that.
Wow. And here's a question. Because just like gimbals, you gotta balance it every time. Everyone hates that, right? But do you have to balance this, or is it so giant and expensive that you think that would just kind of come with it?
You don't really have to balance it.
Okay.
I mean, when we're moving this thing 3 meters a second, you do want to have a sense of balance, right?
100%.
So if it's like super heavy on one end, we moved it 3 meters a second, you want it to be in
You're
the
taking
best.
no chances.
Yeah, take no chances. But ultimately, you can put like 40 pounds on there and like swing it around.
Wow.
So yeah. Continue moving on. We've got some of the contraptions. We can hold it in different directions.
Spinning that thing around there for a second.
Yeah, there's different ways of holding the camera, and just teaching Morgan as we were doing the shoot as well.
Great shot.
So here's our Morgan, great job, dude. So here's our lens with our fizz control. Then you plug it into.
You see those little wheels up here, or I cut off, but like this way,
Yeah. So we have, we just mounting it to the camera. The software that we use is called FlAIR 7. Okay. It's their newest form. Yeah. You can download this on their website just so you can kind of like get to know the robots and how it works. But to actually operate a robot, you have to plug it into a robot. So
gotta get a license. But any license for these things?
I don't quote me, but I think you can reach out to Mark Roberts Motion Control, and they'll give you a download so you can start practicing with your robot.
I mean, like
a
license,
virtual robot.
Class A, Class B, like forklift license.
Oh yeah, I have. We've done a couple certifications for it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So there's about 8 people in the state of Texas that we've got certified.
Really?
Yeah. And so there are some in Dallas, some in Austin.
Wow.
So once we get the camera dialed in, then
look at that
we
thing.
can have
smooth.
It can be super smooth, left and right. You have your X, Y, and Z axis. It's just gonna follow that in a straight line. And that perfect shot, and that's what they're really looking for.
Yeah.
Is to be at eye level, push in shot, and then
you can structure that to be decimal.
Yeah, and then we have a product shot that they want to circle around, kind of like this.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll have the product on a table, and it'll just be moving around for like 3 seconds, and we're able to really dial in the framing that we really want. So
this is the type of thing you'd probably want to unplug during a storm, just in case, right? I mean.
So yeah, like this is how FLAIR. This is FLAIR. So you have a couple different modes in here. That Cartesian view and locked view, or the just different types of moving it. You can see behind my head.
I mean, off the bat,
X, Y, and Z.
The user interface looks great. I would say, like, I would not expect the user interface to look like this.
Yeah, no, this is it looks super clean. I love FLAIR. You can actually hook your camera feed into here, so I can take my live camera feed and plug it right into the camera, and so you can see what it's looking at. You can drive from here. This is what your robot is doing. You can live feed, playback, and then this is your timeline. And then you'd have key points. So like the Kendrick Lamar Humble video, so it'd be like position 1 is right here, and then position 2 would be right here, and then position 3, and then position 4.
And you have those all presets. So once you get them dialed in, you're ready to go take after take after take.
And once you have your robot set up or your motion control rig, right? So like again, you don't need this big robot to do exactly what I'm talking about. With an iPhone, you can go download. There's a link that's called Live Link. And that live link will do exactly what this robot is doing. Maybe not as precise, but you could start doing these things yourself at your house, right? So the next phase of all of this is, so get your iPhone. So imagine you don't have this robot, you don't have the cameras, the lenses, and all those different things, but you have a DSLR camera, like a Sony, something that you can put an iPhone and mount it to, and then you get that app open and go live link. And so from there, we can kind of showcase what that looks like. This LED wall, right here.
Oh God, I didn't even almost realize. For some reason, I thought there was like an extended garage in that house. It's kind of hard to see.
It is kind of. That's why I took a couple different different shots,
perfect,
right? So this LED wall. Everything on this is going to be projected onto the physical LED wall in real world. Okay. And so when this camera in the real world moves, this box and this camera move accordingly. So whatever this camera sees in this box is what the real world camera sees.
Wow.
Okay.
And then here we've got, I believe next, right, a video of this all compiled together.
So this is all of it together. So that's, again, that frame that you just watched on our display.
So if you were to look at the literal view on the camera, it would not exceed those blue lines.
So sorry about the flicker, but it's just how it works. So everything inside of here is rendered out at its highest frame rates, highest quality.
You can tell.
Everything else down here is like less. I'm just going to pause it just for a second so we can see. So you can see the colors right here and the colors right here. It's just pushing out a little bit better of everything.
Exactly.
The rendering power is coming from that spot right there. When you're doing a virtual production, you can do it two ways. You can do this as a plate shot where you have no control of the background except Photoshop, right? You're not going to change the horizon. You'll have to zoom in, get it to the right height, the location. But with Unreal Engine or your 3D environments, you're able to move the environment to the camera, where when we're doing a 2D plate, I have to move the camera to the correct perspective of the background. And really, ideally, you'd want to set the camera and the lens and all the things that you want to do and put the camera in there and then set the background so it makes sense, right? So rather than being stuck to a 2D environment, but sometimes the 2D environments work perfect because it's the exact plate, it's the exact angle that you need to have. So there are pros and cons to virtual production when it comes to 3D plates, environments, and then 2D plates. 2D plates are a little simpler. You're kind of limited on what you can do movement-wise, but in virtual production, you have more variables to go wrong.
True that.
So inside of our LED wall, there's this box is called the FRUSTUM. Frustrum.
Yeah.
And so this frustrum is again what the camera sees. So when the camera is moving and it pans left or right, up or down, those blue bars are not even in the frame.
Nice.
So like those blue bars are there as a guideline for us. So if we do, it's kind of in our calibration stage.
Gotcha.
So whenever we're panning left or right, if we can see the edges in there, that means we need to kind of expand the frustrum a little bit. Make sure that we're aligned within the virtual environment.
Yes, good alignment for sure.
Yeah. So once we're ready to go, we'll remove those lines and then it will just be all ambient, no blue reflections of any sort. So
nice.
We've talked about Unreal Engine and how we can use it for previs. We've talked about how we can use it for actual productions. You can do this inside your house. You could use this on a television with your iPhone. So just practice. Like, I mean, maybe it's not necessarily the final product, but you can actually start creating and simulating things, right? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Andre, later.